Welcome and thank you for tuning in. You're listening to the Beyond 50 radio program. I'm Daniel Davis. For many of you who have joined our program over the last 8 years, you realize that we've usually been talking about cutting-edge technologies, especially when it comes to the field of health and wellness. By the time you watch what we talk about, it'll be anywhere from 1 to 3 years down the road, sometimes up to 4 years before the mainstream media seems to pick it up and talk about it as though it's just been happening, it's explosive, and now it's ready for you. But I say, why wait? Joining us here on the Beyond 50 radio program today is someone who's enjoyed just that very thing about being on the cutting edge. She is 50-plus years old, and she loves health and wellness, especially when it comes to being able to keep herself maintained in the kind of vibrant health that all of us want to enjoy, especially when it comes to the later years. On the program today, we're going to be talking with our guest about something that you really need to pay attention to as we explain the benefits of something that is simply called ASEA. I'd like to welcome to the Beyond 50 radio program today our guest is Trish Schwenkler. Trish, thank you for joining us here on the Beyond 50 radio program.
My pleasure, Daniel. Great to be with you. Thanks for inviting me.
You know, every once in a while, something new comes on the horizon, and a lot of people just don't hear about it too much. It doesn't get into the mainstream as far as, you know, the doctors who like to go on, you know, the big shows, so forth. But it really is something the public really needs to know about. Tell us about this thing called ASEA. What is it exactly?
Okay, well, I'd be happy to share that with our listeners. So most people, when they think about a supplement, that they put two words together. They put nutritional supplement together, and that's what most people are familiar with as something that might help their health. However, ASEA actually goes beyond nutrition. There is zero nutritional value in ASEA. And even though nutrition is a very important part of our body's needs, at a deeper level than nutrition, there is a need for inter- and intracellular communication. Our bodies are the most complex communication system on Earth, even more complex than AT&T and Vonage put together. And sometimes when things go wrong, people think, well, gee whiz, maybe I need more nutrition, maybe I need more minerals, maybe I need to go to my doctor and get a prescription. But until now, most people didn't say to themselves, well, gee whiz, I think my cells need to communicate better. So essentially, ASEA is the world's first and only redox signaling supplement, which means essentially that it helps your cells talk to each other better. And it also helps your cells, once again, reach optimal efficiency. And when that happens, it empowers your body to work the way that it is supposed to. Many health issues that people have had for decades start to disappear. And it's a pretty miraculous thing when we can improve the communication between the cells. Does that make sense?
It really does, because, you know, on this day and age, a lot of people really become concerned with nutrition, especially as they age. And so, you know, there are a lot of things out there that really, as at least the appearances, promise the world. You know, and so now what you hear a lot of, well, this is based in science. Apparently now for it to really have a seal of approval, it has to go beyond the fact that it just works or that it is just effective, but it actually has to have, well, this is based in science. Okay, so tell us about what's going on here, what stands this apart. I can already hear one thing. It causes cells to be better at communicating with each other. What's so important about that?
Okay, well, there's a kind of a few questions wrapped into one there. But redox signaling is one of the fastest growing areas of science in the entire world. Redox comes from two words, reductants and oxidants, and they're combined into the shortened word redox. So if you have a computer and you put in the words redox signaling into the Google search bar, you'll get hundreds of thousands of hits about the importance of redox signaling. And so this is a very, very large field of study. These signaling molecules affect every one of the 10,000 chemical reactions that are happening inside of your cell every second of every minute of every day inside of every one of your 25 trillion cells, 75 trillion cells that make up your body. And recently, we have ASEA itself, the world's first and only redox signaling supplement, has undergone very intense scrutiny from the prestigious North Carolina Research Campus Human Performance Laboratory. And after significant double-blind testing, Dr. Neiman, who is the VP of the American College of Sports Medicine, has found that 100% of people have significant benefit after ingesting ASEA for only 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a lot of scientific validation behind, the claims that we make for ASEA.
Okay, fair enough. Now, again, like I said, and you said these were a lot of questions wrapped into one, so that's one. So the second thing is that you tend to see a lot of products out there that talk about how effective they are, they're sports nutritionists, so forth and so on. So it sounds to me like what sets this apart is this isn't so much a nutritional product, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's more of a cellular enhancer as far as communication. So how does that benefit somebody?
Okay, so that would be accurate. ASEA is not a nutritional product. It has zero nutritional value. There are lots of great products out there. People need nutrition. There are a lot of things that can benefit us. However, ASEA is a solo voice amongst a very, very crowded choir because there is nothing else out there that actually contains the identical signaling molecules that are made inside of your body. A blueberry is natural. Drink a juice. We can take vitamin C, whatever. These are things that are natural that can help our body, but they're not native to the body. So what ASEA has done is they've been able to recreate the exact same signaling molecules that are made inside of every one of your 75 trillion cells. Mm-hmm. Every day that we get older, our cells lose efficiency, and they produce less and less of these very important signaling molecules that help the cells communicate within themselves as well as from cells to other cells, and then from cells to different systems like the immune system, the endocrine system, the nervous system, the digestive system, etc. And so ASEA truly can do things that nothing else can do because ASEA contains things that nothing else on Earth contains. And again, these molecules are native to the body. Therefore, no one can be allergic to them. There are no interactions with pharmaceutical drugs of any kind. And for athletes, there are no banned substances. So pretty powerful.
It sounds that way. So now, because you said it isn't a nutritional product, but it sounds more like a rebuilding or enhancing product, is that a correct way to say it?
What I would say is the end result is that your body will be rebuilt because so essentially what ASEA does is it helps every one of your cells operate at optimal efficiency the way they did 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. It's almost like turning back the hands of time. And so when everything is cellular. Your eyes are made of cells. Your lungs are made of cells. Your digestive system is made of cells. So if you can enhance the efficiency and the communication of those cells, it's oftentimes almost magical how things can change for people.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, here's the thing, though, but as you said, it isn't a nutritional product, and again, it seems like a hard-line question. Isn't a cell reproduction based on good nutrition for the cell, so it is healthy, or is there a natural stasis, it sounds like, where this just occurs on its own?
So if I'm understanding your question correctly, of course people need to have good nutrition.
Okay.
Of course it's going to be to their advantage to eat good foods, take nutritional supplements. At the same time, what we've seen with people who take ASEA is that they're able to cut down many times on their nutritional supplements because when your cell is operating more efficiently, it's going to be able to utilize that nutrition better.
Ah, okay.
It actually allows more of the nutrition through the cell membrane to actually nourish the cell. It also allows any toxins that may have accumulated in the cell to leave the cell, and so you have a better homeostasis in the cell itself. So does that answer your question, Daniel?
It definitely does. It certainly does, because I didn't want the listeners to get the impression, so I can just do this and continue on with my bad habits or good habits, whichever they may be, and it won't really matter either way. And a lot of times, I'm sure you've noticed over the years, because it sounds to me And from what I have here in front of me on your biography is that, that you've been in this for a while, that you've been involved in health and nutrition for at least 20 years. And so you've seen and you've heard quite a bit of things that are out there and the promises that are made people. They go that direction, and they find their lives may be about the same, maybe not as good, and it's mainly because they stay with old habits. Does this really help enhance and change people's habits as they get involved with it?
That's a really good question.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my experience, Daniel, is the reason I've been in health and wellness for the past 20 years is because prior to that, I lived for 12 years with a debilitating illness, and I went to a lot of doctors and spent a lot of money trying to find out what was wrong with me and trying to find an answer. And for myself, the typical Western model had no answers for me. They had no diagnosis, and they had no treatment. And so I started seeking out answers for myself, and I found them. And what I found, to your point, Daniel, is, in my opinion, there's not one thing that is going to be the panacea for every, trouble that everyone has on planet Earth. Health comes from a lot of different angles. Health can be spiritual, it can be physical, it can be mental, it can be nutritional. And if you are interested in health, in my opinion, it's best to seek out answers in all of those areas. And health always takes a certain amount of lifestyle discipline. Once you become used to living a certain way, exercising every day, eating certain foods, and that makes you feel fantastic, I'm almost addicted to living that way because I love feeling fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And so, ASEA is one of many ways to approach your health, but it is a very foundational technology that can support everything else that you're doing. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Well, it does. As a matter of fact, just so our listeners come to understand this, is what happens is, okay, so you're out there, you're enjoying a really good nutritional supplementation regimen, for instance. Now, we have talked about cellular regeneration many times on the program and the importance of what that is so that our listeners have a better idea of what's really going on out there, because what you tend to hear about a lot is somebody parroting somebody else, And so you just kind of take that as a gospel, and most people, let's just face it, especially in America, can tend to be lazy. Okay, I believe you, so I'm just going to go with that and see what happens. Sure. Then they realize they don't feel the benefit after a while that they were hoping to. And they don't realize that it really starts at the basic cellular level to be able to, get things kind of working first and then go into the direction that they've been, told would be the promised land to better health. Mm-hmm. So what you're saying here is that basically what ASEA has done in developing an ASEA product is it kind of sets the reset so that your part where you get to sort of start all over with the cellular level. Now the cells are healthy. Now they're communicating. They're shucking and jiving. They're dancing the tango. It's going nuts in there. And then now you start enhancing yourself with better nutrition, so to speak. So I see where this kind of stands alone.
Yeah, I think you got it, Daniel. In my opinion, it behooves people to really educate themselves. Some people don't really want to be healthier. That's okay. This is a free country. Everybody gets to decide whether they want to be healthier or not. But you can, I don't know if it's okay to give people a website just to go where they can learn more about ASEA if they'd like to. Okay, so it would be ASEA.net, ASEA.net, very simple, www.asea.net. And then, just educate yourself about ASEA. Sometimes things do change for people overnight, but typically it takes time for things to change. The wonderful thing about ASEA is there is a 30-day money-back guarantee for our customers. So, people can try it risk-free, see what it does for them. In my own experience, I'm 50-plus. I'm, at this point in my life, very healthy. I do yoga every day. I bike or walk every day. And what ASEA did for me is it simply gave me more stamina, more energy. I can work in my garden for hours without getting sore. I sleep deeper. I don't wake up in the night to go to the bathroom anymore. I've